Are you looking for the best budget drones? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best drones on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. DJI Air 3. Striking an appealing balance between price, size, and performance, it's difficult to find fault with DJI's mid-ranger. 9 out of 10, Wired recommends. The 46-minute battery life, responsive touchscreen-equipped controller, and omnidirectional array of obstacle avoidance sensors make flight breezy and anxiety-free, but perhaps the most appealing aspect of the Air 3 is its 2-camera setup. The auto-stabilized, gimbal-mounted camera pod contains two 48MP cameras, one with a wide-angle lens and one with a medium telephoto lens. The former offers a similar field of view to most drone cameras, but the latter allows users to drastically condense their framing, not only to get a closer view of distant subjects but to compress them against background and foreground objects for a more dramatic, cinematic look. 4K video is gloriously rich and detailed straight out of the cameras. For users who prefer to grade their footage, both cameras also support hybrid log gamma and D-Log M color profiles. UK-based readers should note that the country's drone laws severely restrict where the Air 3 and other DJI models can be piloted. Like all drones weighing above 250 grams, it may not be flown closer than 50 meters, or 164 feet, to uninvolved people or over crowds and must be kept at least 150 meters, or 500 feet. At number 2. DJI Mini 2. The Mavic Air 2S has great collision avoidance tech, but it's pricey. Even the new Mini 3 Pro is $750. For a more affordable option, DJI's Mini 2, 8/10, Wired recommends, is the way to go. It flies nearly as well as its larger siblings, though wind gusts that wouldn't faze bigger drones like the Mavic 2 Pro will ground the Mini. The lack of collision avoidance sensors makes it a better choice for more experienced flyers. Despite those caveats, the Mini 2 is still a great entry-level drone. It's fun to fly, shoots 4K video, and packs up smaller than many smartphones. That last bit is key, because the best drone is the one you actually bring with you. At a mere 249 grams, it's easy to take the Mini 2 everywhere, and you don't need to register it with the Federal Aviation Administration. At number 3. DJI Mini 4 Pro. It might be an incremental upgrade over our previous favorite ultralight drone, the DJI Mini 3 Pro, but the Mini 4 Pro, 8 out of 10, Wired recommends, cements DJI's position as undisputed champion of the sort of sub-250-gram flyers that can fit on your palm. The Mini 4 Pro employs the same 1/1.348MP sensor as its predecessor but gives its image processing software a notable bump. It matches the Mini 3 Pro's 4K/60fps performance, but can now capture slow-motion 4K at 100 frames per second and record in 10-bit D-Log M for greater post-production color grading freedom. That said, both its photos and video look fine straight from the camera, and the new night mode vastly improves the low-light video quality. It's not just the camera performance that's been boosted. The obstacle avoidance system now points sensors in every direction to prevent the drone from careening into trees, walls, power poles, and other potential hazards. Add that to the generous 34 minutes of battery life and DJI's always simple flight controls and software, and you've got a refreshingly chilled. At number 4. DJI Mavic 3 Pro. The Mavic 3 Pro is DJI's folding flagship, packed with the most advanced camera and flight tech you'll find in any of the company's portable models. And yet it remains within the realms of affordability, even for those who consider themselves enthusiastic amateurs rather than professional aerial photographers or videographers. The main attraction is the camera, which features not one, not two, but 3 separate modules. First, there's a 20MP Hasselblad-branded wide-angle main camera with a large 4/3 sensor and support for hybrid log gamma, D-Log, and D-Log M color profiles, Apple ProRes 422 compression, and resolutions up to 5.1K. That's supported by a 48MP medium telephoto camera and a 12MP telephoto camera, both of which offer markedly different fields of view to expand the Mavic 3 Pro's imaging toolbox. Add in the omnidirectional object avoidance, simple controls, 43-minute battery life, and the fact that you can fold this down to the size of a water bottle, and you've got a luxury drone that's wonderfully easy to live with. At number 5. Autel Evo Lite Plus. If you want to stay aloft as long as possible, the Evo Lite Plus 7/10 wired recommends is your best bet. Its massive battery manages a 40-minute flight time, and the extra weight makes it more stable in wind, though slightly more sluggish, but not terribly so. The Evo Lite Plus has a fantastic camera with variable aperture controls, a 1-inch sensor, and night mode for capturing better low-light images. The controller looks like an Xbox controller, which is fine, but it lacks any storage space for the removable joysticks like you get with DJI drones. Still, it's perfectly functional, and Autel's app will be familiar to anyone who has used a DJI drone. At number 6. Ryze Tello. Designed in collaboration with DJI, the Tello is just 100 by 100 mm in size and 80 grams in weight, and is constructed from fairly low-grade plastic. But it's the only toy drone we've used that doesn't feel like a piece of dropship junk just begging to be thrown away. Granted, it's a little pricier than most of its peers, but its solid controls, decent flight range of about 50 to 100 meters, around 160 feet, and 13-minute battery life make it ideal for learning the basics of drone flight. It even has a 5MP/720p electronically stabilized camera aboard for some basic aerial imaging practice. Do be warned, though, that gusts of wind are not the Tello's friend. Fly it on a blustery day and you may end up losing it altogether. At number 7. Hanvon GoGo Bird. I confess, I first thought the GoGo Bird would be terrible. It looks like a cheap plastic kite with a tiny motor. It is a flapping kite with a tiny motor, but it's also pretty great. It's possibly the most fun you're going to have with a $60 drone. It can be tricky to fly at first. The controller is small and one-handed, which takes some time to master. But once you get the hang of it, your flapping wannabe bird is surprisingly maneuverable. The biggest downside is the tiny battery, which lasts for about 8 to 10 minutes of flying time. The GoGo Bird comes with extra batteries, but changing them is harder than it should be. That's my only real quibble, which is surprising. Even more impressive is how it has held my kids' attention for more than 6 months now, and that alone makes it well worth the price.